Do you think they print out a list of like people that can't come in the Catholic Church once they excommunicate?
Let's see. You're not on the list, bud. Dudes in Space here with another DNS Vidcast for you. That is a video podcast. I'm Phillip.
I'm Joshua.
I'm Travis.
And every week we give you two random topics that are chosen at random by a random number generator.
Randomly.
We don't just go to random.org. That's for sure.
No,
We search for random number generator and pick on the first thing.
Typically is
It's
random.org.
random.org.
Hey, we should get right into it this week.
Sure, let's jump into it.
Topic number one. Conspiracy theories.
Oh, wow. Conspiracy theories.
That's been on the board a while.
I wish I was better prepared for this.
I got a good conspiracy theory.
What?
Aliens.
Do they exist?
Do they exist?
Aliens.
Aliens. What do they know?
Yeah.
I'm going to say aliens exist.
Okay.
They've never visited this planet.
I
That's
can
pretty
go
legit.
with that. Yeah.
Or,
The conspiracy of aliens.
I think is that the government is covering up aliens coming to Earth in the 50s.
that would be the conspiracy. For
That
sure.
would be.
Yeah.
I feel like the government hides a lot of things from
They
us.
have to. They have to protect us.
Maybe.
I was reading, and I can't remember who it was recently, but a scholar was saying that once a civilization had become advanced enough for...
They kill themselves.
They would just...
And that
they
would
kill
explains why
themselves.
we've never met aliens before.
I mean, that also is kind of a generic blanket statement, but
Yeah.
it's pretty legitimate. Like, once
But the chances
civilization
would
has that
still
kind of
be
power, you know?
the chances would still be so high that one of those didn't kill them.
Yeah, I mean, like, we're still talking about the multiverse theory. I mean, something's got to... If there's a possibility that something can happen, it will happen.
Given enough time.
Yeah.
Given enough space and enough time. But we're talking about conspiracies, and the alien conspiracy is that the government is covering up alien...
Specifically, the down spacecraft that hit
Roswell?
in Roswell, Mexico, and the...
New Mexico.
New Mexico.
New Mexico.
Roswell,
That's a
Mexico.
big difference.
Welcome to Roswell,
I went to
Mexico.
Roswell.
Early
Didn't see
60s,
any
late
aliens.
50s.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Not a one.
Well,
There
I
are
haven't
other
been. I need to go.
conspiracies, though. There are conspiracies...
The
such
JFK conspiracy. Where do you stand on that one?
Ooh, okay.
That's a big one.
My conspiracy is that there was a shooter in the book
Your
depository.
conspiracy?
However, he missed, and then the agent in the front turned around to return fire and blew JFK's dome wide open.
Wouldn't you be able to see that in the movie?
No,
Why not?
you can't tell that it didn't happen.
You also can't tell that aliens didn't kill JFK.
It's a conspiracy. That's what I'm saying. It's a conspiracy.
I've always heard that it was highly likely and possible that there was a second shooter and more people were involved. But whether that was government or the bigger theory, I think, is that the mafia may have had something to do with it because he had pretty deep ties with the mafia and they didn't like him for some reasons.
But is that a conspiracy, or is that just like hoaxes and lies?
Man, I think that's definitely
It's
a conspiracy.
Like,
Okay.
it's still like an open
Because a lot of
thing.
people are hiding things. Like, why did someone kill the guy before he even made it to the jail, right? Like, that's what happened.
Yeah. So it's still a conspiracy
Yeah.
theory. Chemtrails. That's a real popular one right
that's
now.
totally... That's a boo-boo.
That's
Get out of here,
That's kind of dopey.
Very dopey. That is one step above. There's something dopier. The flat earth theory.
Oh my gosh. That's
That's not a conspiracy.
No,
a
that
conspiracy.
is
That's
definitely
like a
conspiracy.
religion.
It's a conspiracy. They think the government and NASA are all tricking us and making this stuff up and trying to hide it from us.
How doesn't it even make any sense?
It doesn't. Have you
It's
seen the
tough.
video of how the sun would work on their flat
Yeah,
earth
it's
theory?
just like there's a sun on a string.
Yeah.
Another
so
good
dumb.
conspiracy: the
God,
government is controlling us and keeping us docile by making us drink fluoridated water.
That's a pretty good theory. But
There are some weird things like
There's some good studies on it.
fluoride. They needed ways to get rid of it because it's some sort of I want to say runoff. It's not runoff, but some byproduct of some large manufacturing process. I don't remember the exact manufacturing process. Look it up.
So they were just trying to figure out
A way to dump it, and that's part of the theory, is that they just needed a place to get rid of it.
Let's just put it in everyone's water.
Put it in the water.
I think lobbying has a
bad.
lot of conspiracies, like the sugar lobby. Like, why there's sugar in everybody's food is because Big Sugar was out in the government,
Big
and they're
Sugar.
like, you need to make sure you got plenty of sugar and all this delicious sweet stuff.
Also,
That's why
I think it just tastes really good.
Well,
They don't have to do much lobbying.
you don't actually think it tastes good. That's the conspiracy.
No, it tastes great. I've had sugar.
It's just addictive.
A spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down.
The medicine go down?
That's
The
part of the
medicine
conspiracy.
go down. Mary Poppins was part of the conspiracy. Oh,
We'll just make the kids think.
Walt Disney was raking in that big sugar money.
a big,
Big sugar money.
topical conspiracy right now. Any election. Any major election.
Yeah.
That really...
There are a lot of fingers in there.
There are a
Like,
lot
with
of patriots behind there pulling the strings, and the Rothschilds and the other famous
Kochs?
people and the cockroaches.
money. It's Coke, right?
The
Pretty
Koch
sure.
brothers?
Yeah.
Coach. Koch.
Well, it's Coke. I'm
yeah,
pretty
I think
sure.
it's Coke. Coke sounds right. I wouldn't know because I'm just a lowly middle class white boy.
Yeah, that's true. You
I'm
are.
not upper
verify.
elite. So
What about? I watched recently the documentary "Who Killed the Electric Car" about the '90s. The first start of electric vehicles.
was it the oil industry? Because I feel like it
Yes.
was the oil industry.
Definitely. The documentary was good. It definitely brought some key points. It was a little preachy. It got a little weird into like,
All the beautiful benefits of the electric car.
well, not even just the way the people acted. They were a little too in your face for me.
Okay.
Like they were picketing this place where it's like, if this is their vehicles, they can do what they want to with it. You
Yeah.
back off. But it was definitely, there was like a little kind of boom of electric vehicles in the mid-90s. It's pretty interesting. I would recommend the watch. It's definitely dated now. I would like to see an updated version of that with like the new stuff mixed in. Like your Teslas and your other crap.
Sure. I'd imagine that I know all of those companies have had to jump through numerous stupid hoops in order to...
There's some... Oh, finish that sentence.
I was going to say just to get their products off the line, but then now that they're proving viable and profitable,
Yeah.
here
Now
they
it makes
are.
sense.
Yeah.
But one of the coolest things in there to me, one of the things that definitely seemed kind of conspiracy, was the nitrogen fuel cell. And, that's all you hear from the government. The Bush era, the second Bush era, was like, we're going to get nitrogen fuel cells. It's because the oil companies could still sell that. And so that was the oil companies pushing that technology through the government. And if you will realize there's still no hydrogen fuel cell vehicles that you or I could purchase because it just doesn't make sense financially right now.
Because it's not a real thing.
Conspiracy.
Conspiracy.
Hydrogen or nitrogen?
Hydrogen. Hydrogen fuel cells.
Hydrogen fuel cells are what? Like where the byproduct will be water.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. You just said nitrogen.
I'm sorry.
I know, I was
Hydrogen.
like, I don't know anything
You're right.
about nitrogen fuel cells.
Scratch all that. That was right.
Yeah, because I remember there was a guy who claimed to have created a hydrogen fuel cell.
Yeah.
And had a video and this whole thing about it, and it went away real fast.
In the 90s, apparently it cost more to make those fuel cells. Like, it took more energy to make them than what you could get out of it. Yeah.
I think for maybe the first 6 or 7 years, Toyota Priuses, the manufacturing, the driving of the car did not offset the expenditure and energy on the manufacturing of the car. But in the grand scale, in the long term, of course, it would all equal out.
Kind of always thought those cars were dumb. Like, go all the way electric or...
Well, they were the first that was like a viable option. It was as hybrid as you could realistically get at the time.
Also, they're ugly. Sorry.
I
I'm
think
sorry,
they're
I know a
better.
lot
They're
of you
better
have Priuses.
They're a lot better now. They consistently get better. The C, it's a real good looking car.
The Tesla's a good looking car.
Tesla's a fantastic looking car. However, that's upper echelon.
The newer one is like mid-30s, upper 30s.
And a Prius is 15.
No way.
Yeah,
Really?
15 to 20 is where their sweet spot is.
They're ugly, though.
Yeah, you can get one for $25 for like that actually has good features. But we're not talking about.
We're talking about
cars.
conspiracy
We can
theories.
talk about whatever
And
we
I
want
feel
on
like-
this podcast.
like
Sure.
this-
Vidcast, oh my gosh.
Yes. I feel like we can't not touch on the ultimate North American, United States of American
Bigfoot?
conspiracy theory.
Bigfoot.
Godzilla.
Jet fuel can't melt
Oh my god.
steel beams.
Do I even want to touch this?
It's tough because, I mean, we are a product in the world of the internet. And there are a lot of different places on YouTube you can go to really make yourself believe whatever you want to
But
believe
it's
in this
you,
topic.
if you really stop and listen to the people that have certain ideals on this topic, you can tell which ones are trustworthy.
And which ones are smoking crack.
You know, this is my personal opinion. I don't see how. I listened to a podcast, kind of fun, or a video podcast, kind of funny, and Colin Moriarty on there. They've talked about conspiracy theories before, and he has a very good point. That many people could not keep that secret. You have to think of how many people are involved in the conspiracy, just how many people know about it.
How many?
That would be huge. The production of getting planes, and those people, the people on the planes would have to.
That's part of it, that there aren't people on the planes.
But there were.
No, you think they were. You don't know.
But
for
then
a
you're
fact
talking
that there
all
were.
the airlines would have to be in on it. Exactly. Like at that point, it's so large. That many people can't keep a secret.
I don't think so. No, I agree that you're right. I don't think that
Are there some weird things about it? Yeah. Why won't they show us more video of the Pentagon?
that doesn't make sense.
That doesn't make any sense.
I feel like what happened for the reason that it happened. However, the particulars that created that reason, you know, what drove those people, whoever they were, whoever they're affiliated with, to do that action is probably where any conspiracy would really lie. Because those, you know, the hijackers of the airplanes could have been manipulated. They could have been brainwashed. They could have been not at all who they claim to be or anything like that. That is the easy way to make that happen. However, if a plane hits a building's going to go down.
Yeah.
Right?
I think so.
So the conspiracy, though, that I'm talking about is that a plane couldn't knock a building down as...
Well, that's all part of the larger 9/11
Yeah.
conspiracy.
I would say that the actions happened as they happened. However, could the building have been rigged with explosives also?
No.
That's not impossible.
It is impossible.
I think it's very unlikely.
Okay, I'll take that.
But no, just
Bordering on impossible.
Just looking at it, it's like, wow, it doesn't seem like that would level a building perfectly to the
It
ground.
totally could, though.
It could.
Yeah.
It just doesn't seem right, though, right? And then, like, how come the one building a block and a half away that wasn't connected to it also blew up? And then how come this over
Well,
here...
it burned down. Did it not?
It burned and then also conveniently collapsed in a very...
Almost as if when things get really, really hot, they can't support their own weight anymore.
Yes. Just strange that none of the fire spread or anything like that. Maybe it did.
What
maybe, I
did?
don't
That's
know.
what happened to the other building. The fire spread.
Yeah, around these 6 buildings, down this hallway.
Hey, one giant piece of flaming engine goes over here and hits this other building.
But why not the 19 buildings in between the two of them?
I don't know.
What was in that
Were they
building?
specifically trying to keep the burning away from these other
World
buildings?
Trade Centers, these guys, you recognize them.
All right, so all the firefighters
And
were
then-
just keeping these buildings not on fire.
And then little doop, this little building over here. Plane goes down. Nothing else goes down. Goes down. Who ran a plane into this guy over
no
here?
one. It caught on fire.
What about all these? This is like 2 blocks.
I guarantee they caught on fire too.
What if everybody's reading into it way wrong and there was an arsonist that was trying to set a fire at that same moment?
Damn it.
And then he was like,
I was trying to make a point. They fired me. And I don't mean to make light of the situation, but we did. So deal with it.
No, we
How
didn't.
about this?
I was talking on that completely seriously.
I think there's one conspiracy theory that we're all forgetting
Are you
that
gonna
is
say
That is
Bigfoot?
true.
the classic,
Loch Ness monster.
the moon landing.
Oh my.
Yeah.
All right, we have to end on this one for time.
Yeah.
All right, so
I could
number
talk about
one,
this forever and call
It's
people
fake.
dumb.
it's real. It is
It
real.
is so real.
It is real. Like,
I know.
Okay.
regardless, it is real. But I do like the evidence. The evidence is interesting.
No, there's
It's
terrible
fun.
evidence.
It's real fun.
It's fun. Yeah, it's fun to play with. Like,
No,
I
can-
like the fact that they hired one of the preeminent directors of the time.
oh my god! Then there's the whole.
Stanley
like.
Kubrick directed
Watch
the
all
fake
of his
moon
movies. The Shining specifically
Yeah.
is just littered with all this
He's left
information.
They
clues.
shot it in the same building, I'm
Yeah,
sure.
something like that. But I mean, like, then they made Capricorn 1, which was literally to make light, or not necessarily make light, but is directly based off of the conspiracy theory. Anybody seen
I'm not
Capricorn
familiar
1?
with it. No.
It's about it becomes like a media race to get to Mars, and so they stage a Mars landing.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that.
Kind of like what
But
we're
then
doing
it
right
like,
now.
but then it goes all crazy, and they have to like
Actually,
try
go
to
Mars.
survive. No, like they try to.
They create the perfect
thing
real
gets
heated,
ocean
guys.
terrain.
Getting heated.
Getting heated?
My glasses are fogging up.
Well, in
Um,
that case,
There
maybe we
are
should move
people that
on.
believe that we did not land on the moon. I feel like the evidence that is available.
Well, like the major
Are those
point.
the same people that don't believe that the moon exists though? That could be a
heck
thing,
no,
right?
they're
I don't
not.
think they would be the same.
But the biggest piece of evidence that
So
they
there
try
are
to
two
throw
things,
out.
just of the flat Earth people. There's also the moon.
there may be some overlap.
They run into each other
Yeah.
once in a while.
And how come you can see the sun and the moon in the sky at the same time? Do you ever think about that?
No,
Oh,
I haven't.
But
You're right. It is a flat Earth. You got me.
But the biggest piece of evidence for the moon landing being fake is that we haven't been to the moon since the '60s
you know why?
because the government cut funding.
Because what they found on the moon.
Because we won the Cold War.
Yeah,
That's
and
why.
we didn't need to go anymore.
Yeah, we pulled it out and it turned out ours was bigger.
Yes,
Our rocket ships
Oh, okay.
in that.
took us to the moon.
You went way into that.
Yeah.
Tom Hanks, Apollo 11.
Oh yeah, did he say that?
Apollo 13.
13 of all two Apollos later.
Apollo 36. You with me?
All right, so
Oh.
there's conspiracies. I'm sure we missed a bunch of them. I'm sure
we did miss
wanna-
one. I'm just gonna throw out there real quick. The chick who was talking about
The dinosaur.
dinosaur.
Okay,
a fake conspiracy theory.
there, and I don't know if Phil has the wherewithal to put a link on here.
I'll
or if
try.
we want to promote that video or not. But there's a girl who has a pretty viral video
Time code 1927.
where she is. Where she's talking about how dinosaurs didn't really exist in a biblical sense, and why we as humans went back to try to lie and say they did. And of course, it was just for profiteering through paleontology.
From big paleontology.
Yeah, it's really good. You gotta look it up.
It's a solid video. We
paleontology.
didn't know if it was real or fake. We sent them a message asking if they wanted to collaborate and do a little something, but no response.
I'm pretty sure it was fake, but
Had to be
Had to be
fake.
fake.
good.
Like it was so.
it was amazing.
Yeah.
Topic 2.
Weddings.
Wedding.
We all love it.
I just went to a wedding this weekend.
I went to a wedding this
That's
weekend.
weird.
I took engagement pictures this wedding.
What?
Wow,
This
this wedding?
This wedding.
This wedding, I took engagement pictures. They did it in the wrong order.
Let me
Should've
tell
them
you
know.
about the wedding that I went to.
Okay.
Okay?
Mbop.
There may or may not have been members of Hanson or their immediate family at the wedding. But no big deal. I did not get the DJ to put Mbop on the playlist. Turns out that's not a fun dance track anymore. But I went to a
it
wedding
is for
in
me.
Tulsa, Oklahoma. And it was a gorgeous home wedding. Beautiful home. I was by far the ugliest person there. And probably the most undereducated person there. And
The
I
poorest?
had probably the poorest too. But I had a wonderful time. However,
I don't know.
the idea of like big weddings like that, and I realized that this wasn't a super expensive wedding. This was still a backyard wedding that was still like mostly friends and stuff.
Yeah.
Like catering
Probably
flowers.
cost more than my wedding, though. for a backyard
I
wedding?
feel like they would have had to have spent somewhere between 15 and 20 grand on it.
I would say that's an average wedding.
That's so much
It's a
money.
lot of money. My wedding didn't cost me that much. I don't think. No way it did.
Mine's not going to cost that much.
Phil thinks he's getting married.
Which one of us is going to be the best man? Neither.
Yeah. You're a photographer and I'm the caterer?
What about the officiator?
MC? Oh, I'll do that. I'll be your efficient. You're efficient. I'll be really quick. Like, hey, you do? Cool. Done.
Kiss.
Let's get out of here.
Let's go drink.
That would be the best wedding ever. You just walk
That
in.
would be awesome.
just-
As
you
quick
take
as
this
you
lady,
could possibly do.
you take this
You take
man,
her. You take him.
kiss.
Put them rings on.
We're done.
Come on, hurry up.
Hurry up, I gotta get a drink.
Okay, my wedding had a dog as the ring bearer.
These rings represent forever, which is what this wedding is not going to take.
Circle. Think about it. I'll draw you a picture. There's some take-home material at the back. Bye.
There were dogs in the wedding I went to.
Oh, that's silly. Was it?
It was, yeah.
It's my
the
favorite
two.
dog in the world.
Well, yeah, that was one of them.
Oh,
Both dogs were there, and they did not bark once.
really?
Not once.
My dog growled at the
Nice.
what's the
Priest?
girl's name?
The bride.
Growled at the bride. She was walking down through the beautiful candlelit path from the beautiful woods
Yeah.
as the leaves are falling and majesty is shining off of her somehow. And that dog's just like... It was pretty funny. Oh, also in my wedding...
Your wedding.
Live,
You keep saying his wedding.
Yeah, in the wedding I went to, live guitar players.
Oh, really?
Singing some tunes.
That's funny because I played a guitar at the wedding I went to.
Guitar cuts out.
Oh, really?
What does he do? Does he fix it? Does he say like,
yells
"Hey, sound guy,
louder.
help"? You know, like, come on, like, does he move the mic down?
just leaves.
He just continues singing. So, great sound system, lots of vocals, no
Oh,
guitar.
just vocal. Wow.
Yeah, no
I think you
guitar.
push the mic away at that point and just do it.
Yeah. Also, funny though, the backup spare wireless mic, just right there.
Oh, yeah.
Like, could he have just gone like,
Yes. is
yeah?
the answer.
Oh yeah, he could have.
I wasn't mic'd, but I did play a song. I played while everybody walked in.
Here comes a
that
bride.
song by Bright Eyes, that First Day of My Life song. You know what? You familiar?
It's great day
No,
to be
that was
alive.
not it. I wish they'd have
Remember
maybe did
when-
Mud on the Tires or something. That'd have been good. But no.
Well,
We practiced and the timing worked out perfectly the night before. And then on the spot, I had to add an addendum on the end of the song during the service because they were moving slower, I guess, during the thing.
that's
But
stupid.
it went perfectly.
quit wasting my time. Speed it up.
Come on. Sorry.
It was a
I
pay-
know-
Give it up.
It was a paying gig, so that was nice.
I know that there were hors d'oeuvres waiting for me, so I was like, come on.
I didn't go to any of the fun things I was invited to, like the what's the night before thing,
The rehearsal
dinner, or the reception.
Why?
I just had stuff to do.
Didn't like
I'm a
those
busy
people?
man. I didn't know, but like 2 people, but
The bride and groom.
I don't really know the groom. I knew
bride and-
some of the
and-
bride's friends.
and the
I bet
other
your old
person.
squirrel was there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
definitely.
that's weird that I didn't get an invitation. I might have to.
It was a small wedding, you know.
Yeah, still, you know, I don't exactly take up a lot of
But
space. And I was across the United States at the time, but an invitation would be nice, Reed.
I'm the only person that has been married at this table.
That's true.
We've all been to weddings.
Yeah.
But I'm the only one person who's gone through a wedding. It is a bizarre hole in your life. Like, that day is gone. You maybe have like 3 things you can remember from it.
Really?
But it is so busy. It is so hectic.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, you're not supposed to be, but you're basically entertaining guests.
Yeah.
It's like when you throw a party at your house and you can't enjoy the party at your house because... Well, and in those cases, I enjoy being the entertainer
Yeah, 'cause
because that's what
it's-
I'm doing.
yeah,
but
yeah.
at your wedding, you should be enjoying your wedding.
Yeah. It's your day to remember.
But you don't remember any of it.
That's
Get
why
a
there's
good
wedding
photographer. Get a good photographer.
For real.
I cannot say that enough. Maybe even a videographer. Maybe even the Inventing Room Incorporated.
Holding
Wait,
all of our-
LLC, I mean.
Holding our.
Here we go.
Here we go. Put yours up.
Okay, what are we doing
Hold
here?
on to
These
that.
are our. These are our business cards.
These are our morphers.
fourth time.
We've done that in 2 videos now.
Wow.
But seriously, I think weddings are beautiful things. We've all been to a ton of weddings. Phil, not so much. He's not allowed at weddings. It's a religious thing.
After the last time he had 2 drinks and was just like,
Oh, man.
a mess.
Man, I got tore up.
Phil took communion on accident once and then went streaking across this beautiful Catholic church.
Man, let me tell you about
That's when he was
Friday night.
excommunicated.
That would be a good story if it were true.
It would. It would be a good story.
It's not a stretch, though. Like, you can see it happening,
Do you
right?
think they print out a list of like people that can't come in the Catholic Church once they excommunicate?
Let's see. You're not on the list, bud.
Actually, you are on the list.
You're on the naughty list.
Hey, welcome to the St. Mary Paul Peters. We've got facial recognition software. Please smile.
Yeah, we've got what do they call them?
I don't know.
I don't remember.
I lived in Texas for a long time.
I don't believe it.
And very heavily Hispanic area, which meant a lot of very Catholic churches, which is cool because like they were the real good
Mary candles.
Catholic churches that had names that were 8 miles long, like Our Lady of Sacred Peace,
Saint of Peace,
Saint
in our
this,
time.
across the street from Second Brother of Amen de Jacinto
That's a different place.
Catholic Church, and
Armando
somehow
Santo.
it would be a 500 square foot room and then like 90% of that space is filled with just gorgeous, like the most immaculate set pieces.
Immaculate.
Still, they got 900 people in that room.
In like the Immaculate Conception.
Ooh.
That's his.
We're
That's
talking
all,
about
that's all the
weddings.
Catholicism. he
We're
knows.
talking about weddings. Everyone's here is pro weddings, right? Like no one's
I like weddings.
anti-marriage.
I don't like huge weddings.
No, I don't want to.
Why
like-
not
I like
get
a good-
married?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's got
Makes you
legal.
happy.
It's got legal fun stuff that can help.
Yeah, definitely.
Taxes
down-
and-
I'm
Although
down
it's
to get
not
married.
as helpful as you might think.
No, but
Like you kind of just do your taxes at the same time. You still pay the same
Yeah.
taxes.
You just have to do
pretty
2
much.
forms and then copy it all into one form. Add it up.
It's check another box.
I, for a long time, was apathetic towards the idea of becoming married, but
Mm-hmm.
I think that was just the age and experience that I was.
Yeah.
Once I had the real love in my life, I'm like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
I can see this being an important thing that I dig. So I love the idea of it. I think it's very romantic. I probably don't look at it from a religious point of view as some
Not really.
do. But even though I do understand that that's what, of course, it originated as,
kinda.
things evolve.
I mean, there's like marriage is a very open thing.
You can't use the word sacred. You were going to say sacred,
It's
right?
a legal
No.
thing.
Wasn't gonna- I mean, marriage is. It's
holy
basically how you
sacrifice.
bind 2 people together. It's not necessarily.
No, that's bondage.
In the
Well,
eyes of the Lord.
in some ways that's what it's seen as. I mean, there's a lot of ceremonies where they
I've been
tie
to a
you
wedding
together.
like that.
I mean,
What?
I was at a wedding.
They
I
practiced
shot
bondage?
a wedding and they bonded them together. They bound
What?
them together with.
I see
with
the
rope.
I see the sand.
It was
stuff
called a
lot.
rope ceremony.
Okay, I'm going to throw something out there.
Throw
and
it out there.
This harkens back to religion and weddings, and I understand it, but there comes a time where you're exchanging the vows, and the officiant of the wedding, who is typically, we live in the South, so it's typically a pastor, is like, all right, Mr. Smith, repeat after me. I promise to love you, blah, 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 blah. I'll always cherish you, sickness and health. I'll always, do all I can to support you, so that, we can be one with God. Then, like, all right, Mrs. Smith, repeat after me. I promise to love and cherish Mr. Smith. I promise to provide my body to him. I promise
never
to
heard that. I think you're making this up.
respect him. It's like,
There is kind of a part of it.
it's
that-
this
that
very
kinda-
strange, like,
I don't know if you know this, but typically men and women have different needs.
yes, but you shouldn't highlight the. I'm going to have to pull some stuff up because I don't have enough in my noggin to
There's nothing in there.
But it's like the dude's like, all right, man, you got this wedding. You're going to have a great time. It's going to be great. Make sure you're taking care of her so that you guys can just be
No,
sanctified.
it's equally
Then-
sexist.
and then it's
They're
like-
like, will you pay for everything in this? Will you be the man who goes to work every day and provides for this family?
Yeah.
In those type of ceremonies, it's both ways. You can't say one way is worse than the other.
No.
Sexism
definitely.
is sexism.
I just feel like it should be the same thing, though.
Sure.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
It can be.
do you promise to not be a dick to your wife? Cool.
promise
Do you
not to
promise
be a dick to your
not
husband?
to be a dick to your husband? Good job, everybody. Make out.
Also, I will
Phil,
point
can I
out
be here efficient?
that reminds me that there was a Rickroll pretty much in the wedding I went to.
Oh, really?
Yeah, at the end of the vows of the bride, she said, "I promise to never give you up, never let you down."
No, really?
Yeah, she Rickrolled everybody, so that was
pretty
fun.
That's
I
really
thought that
fun.
was great. That was really good.
one. Wish I was there.
Yeah, no invite for you.
It's all right.
Well, all right, guys.
Tell us about your wedding.
Or
Your dream wedding.
wedding.
Or your dream wedding.
Or the wedding you hope never happens.
Yeah. Tell us about your worst nightmare
Tell
wedding.
us about your terrible mistake of a first marriage.
Send us links to America's Funniest Home Videos.
Wedding edition.
Weddings. Yeah, those are good.
Those are pretty good.
Where like the dress catches on fire, she falls into a pond.
If you're a particularly good student and you want some extra credit, find us some weddings that are conspiracies.
Oh, wow.
Conspiracy weddings.
I bet one.
There's a lot of those.
Marilyn Monroe with anybody. There's probably a conspiracy somewhere in there.
They got married.
Hillary and Bill.
Huh? Billary.
Yeah,
Billary.
power couple. So
The original power couple.
Yeah, so Bill's going to be the head of the UN, and Hillary's going to be the leader of the free world.
There's
Nah,
no
he's
telling
just
what
gonna-
Bill's gonna do.
Bill's
She's
just
gonna be
gonna,
honest.
Bill's just gonna sit back and say,
Play
"Oh, you go,
saxophone."
honey."
Yeah, you
I
go
don't
to
know
work.
what he was.
Go to work.
Put on
baby.
his sunglasses.
I'll be at the house.
Man, have you seen how bad he looks?
Yeah, he's looking tough.
All right, guys, we'll see you in the future.
He's looking real tough. All right, guys.
Bill Clinton, yeah, baby.
I got ripped after I got out of the White
hot
House.
The White House.
White House.
The
It's
White
that
House.
Arkansas accent coming through.
Thank you
All
for
right.
being fans of the show. Go to Patreon if you want to tell us what to talk about.
Patreon.com/dudesinSpace. We'll see you in the future.
Bye.
Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. New videos come out on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Check out some of these sweet videos. Go to patreon.com/dudesinSpace if you'd like to give us your support.